Hello everybody, thank you guys for stopping in. Today I'm going to be checking out Alaloth Champions of the Four Kingdoms, which is an upcoming RPG that just came out today in early access, June 30th of 2022. Not really sure what to expect with the early access, but I've had my eye on this game for quite a while now. It's an action RPG, but it takes a lot of inspiration from the classic CRPGs from the past, such as Baldur's Gate. I am using a PlayStation 5 controller, and I'm playing on a PC with a 2070 Super graphics card. I will be streaming this game throughout this week and on the weekend, so be on the lookout for that. Let's jump on in.
In a time before the gods went to war, before the coming of Alaloth, there were four great kingdoms: the Republic of Laristir, the Blessed Kingdom of Ederhest, the Desolation of Baga, and the Expanse of Catacomb. Each kingdom, a collection of houses championing the virtues of the kingdom. Yet this was before Alaloth and the War of the Gods. During this pantheonic conflict, many gods were wounded and fell. At war's end, Alaloth, the great betrayer, stood above them all in triumph, casting his ominous shadow across the world. At his command, mighty tempest, spears of lightning, and dark energy rained down upon the land. Dragons, beasts, and other foul creatures not seen for millennia have appeared again, besieging the kingdoms with fire and death.
I love the artwork.
These vicious creatures rage unchecked, laying waste to any and all in their path. And from the shadows, the spectral circle, worshippers of Alaloth conduct dark rites and whisper secrets designed to seed unrest, lay the faithful low, and drive allies apart, all in service to their hateful god. And they are succeeding. Where once the kingdoms stood together against all threats, they have now turned on each other, suspicious and vengeful. And the war that once consumed the gods looks as though it will soon consume the kingdoms as well. And so it falls to a few, a band of champions, and whatever allies they can gather, to find a way to bring peace to the kingdoms and end Alaloth's reign once and for all.
Wow, excellent intro. I love the artwork. I like the narrator. Got me
Are
pumped up.
you prepared?
I'm not sure. Let's find out. All right. Check the settings, controls. You guys will notice that there's two configurations for your gamepad. I'm going to start on configuration A and see how that goes. And if I have to, I'll switch to B, which makes the light attack and heavy attack on the bumpers. And let's jump right in. Okay, so we have three different types of campaigns here. The competitive campaign. Each kingdom has enlisted a champion to find the way into the Valley of Storms and kill Alaloth. These champions will impede your journey and will do everything in their power to bring glory to their kingdom. This mode places three competing champions on the map, making roaming and exploration harder but giving you access to unique rewards. Then we have the single player campaign, which allows the player to be the one and only hero of Plamen, no champions to compete against. And okay, there's actually only 2 campaigns. Makes it look like there's 3. We'll go with the competitive campaign. That sounds like it would be fun. Alright, for races, we have humans, the most versatile and adaptable kind of mortal in Plamen. The human race used its abilities to withstand physical and mental damage, as well as expand their ranks faster than the other races, to carve out a great kingdom. They are not masters of any particular aspect, nor are they susceptible to particular malice. Both allows them to make their own decision on who they will be. And we have the elves, which get a +10 magic damage reduction, -5 to poison resistance, -5 to bleeding resistance. These are ancient creatures of the woods, worshippers of Jaha and her children. They've been known for their unbroken bonds with the world that surrounds them. Fortunately, their prowess in magic leaves them weaker against being bled by a blade or poisoned. Okay. And then the dwarves, +10% ice resistance, -5% fire resistance, -10 magic damage reduction. They're raised in the freezing mountains of Karakhon. The dwarven race learned to adjust to the climate through the generations of building their halls inside the mountains. Hotter climates and fire affects them much worse than the other races. Okay, so I'm going to go with... Oh, we have orcs too. Wow. +5% poison resistance, fire resistance, and -10 to ice. From childhood through adulthood, an orc suffers in his day-to-day while roaming the burning desolation of Baga. They've always lived in harsh lands. The orcs would not fall to their knees. Instead, they learned to adapt to the unbearable scorching and poisonous land. And then... Okay, yeah, so I'm going to go with dwarves, because it's obviously the best choice. And then for our fighting style, we have heavy weapons. This will only influence your starting equipment. Okay. Large weapons include 2-handed swords, battle axes, warhammers, massive clubs, and polearms. They are heavy and bulky, and if used improperly can be quite dangerous. Because they have a good range and heft, they are deadly weapons. However, due to their weight and bulk, they're often slow and tiresome. One-handed and shield. Okay, and then we also have dual wielding. Polearms. Okay. Interesting. I think I'm going to go with dual wielding for this character. It'll also be more exciting. I feel like dual wielding is a highly sought after class. So it'll be more exciting for you guys. And then on my other playthrough, I'll probably do something else. So we'll do dual wielding. Dual wielding refers to using a one-handed weapon in both hands. It's intended to be an option halfway between the damage output of two-handed weapons and the defensiveness of a shield, and I like that a lot. Alright, for our legacy, we have First Bells, the Tolling Through the Age. First Bells, Karak, Kagra K, Ferak Quaz, Do Daka, Terrace Toil, Nerake, Watch Wardens, Delvin K, Barum Home. Okay, alright. Wasn't sure how long that would go on for. Let me see what the Watch Wardens are. The Stalwart House, through which no enemy shall pass. They are defenders, the ones who build structures to keep them safe. They have a large standing military, and their soldiers guard many of the Dwarven kingdoms. While they're on difficult opponents when fighting on the surface, they are almost unstoppable and unkillable when fighting in their warrens. Okay, I'll go with that. And then we have alignment. Neutral. People who are neutral with respect to good and evil. Have compunctions against killing the innocent, but lack the commitment to make sacrifices to protect or help others. Good implies altruism, respect for life, and concern for the dignity of sentient beings. So the PR for this game, this company is from Italy. They're not native English speakers. The PR for this game, it's been pretty tough to understand what they've been saying. But this game, the English seems like it's pretty good, so I'm happy to see that. Evil implies harming, oppressing, and killing others. Some evil creatures simply have no compassion for others and kill without qualms if doing so is convenient or if it can be best set up. You know what? Let's go Dwarf dual-wielding evil. That sounds fun. Alright, then we get to choose a god. Enhone is +10 physical damage of the All-Father. You get a gift of the All-Father, which is an item, +100 to max health, max stamina, +15% bleed probability. Lauren, the lesser god of tides. Rid Reckless. Serlatus, the snake god. Mother of Betrayals, +5% bleed probability. Tudum, +25% max health. I like that. Zis, the god of deception, +5% confusion probability. I think I'm going to go with... I'll go with We'll go with Enhone. Oh, it's the Dwarven God too. That works out perfect. The Dwarven God is far from the imperious. He's more like a fellow soldier marching on the battlefield, or a miner who shares your shift. While the other gods may seem distant, their ways unknowable. Enhone is a god that always feels near and present, always willing to lend a helping hand, as long as the recipient is working. Okay, doesn't really, okay, I like it. Trying to think if that fits an evil playthrough. I guess you could make it work. Alright, so we can rotate our character, that's good. We have gender. Male and female. Skin color. I don't know if there's a way to zoom in a little bit. Don't think there is. There might be, though. Sure, we'll go with that. I won't spend... Oh, there we go. It zoomed in automatically. I won't spend too much time in character creation for this video. To show off a little bit, because I could spend hours here. Alright, the character models aren't, you know, the best, but they seem decent. I like that one right there. Alright, and then for age we have... I wish it would like let you see what you're setting it on. You just have to click kind of blindly through it. I will go with that one. Yeah, I like that. And then we have scars. Facial hair is very important for the Dwarven race. Huh, nice. We'll go with a classic beard. And then hair color. What do you guys think? Okay, let's jump on into the game. Race, dwarf, fighting style, dual wielding, legacy, the Watch Wardens, which I believe is my house. We are of the evil alignment, and we worship Enhone, the Dwarven god. Now I have to enter a character name. We'll call him Wolf. Actually, you know what? I'll do WolfheartFPS for a little bit of marketing for my channel, for those of you guys that are watching that aren't familiar with my channel. Some of you guys probably don't even know what channel you're on right now. Yeah, we'll skip the FPS. That's stupid. Are you sure that you want to proceed with this character? You'll be unable to modify it later. Yes. Your opponents in this journey. Valdir Sedlak. Growing up, Valdir heard the stories of his ancestors, the pirate kings and queens of the Isles. He had always wanted to emulate their glory, their adventure, and their daredevil lifestyle. Valdir enlisted with a pirate ship the moment he became an adult, and for many years sailed along with them, but the last tempest sank his ship and killed all of his crew. To get his revenge on Alaloth, Valdir answered the king's call. So I'm assuming that this is part of the competitive mode that I chose in the beginning. These are probably the champions that we're competing with. The Eye of Vas Yilian, follower of the long-lost seer of the Vas Yilian. The Eye is the head priest of the All-Seeing congregation. The Eye lost its name and gender to become something more than mortal, connected to the forces of the gods. They are not true seers, as they cannot see into the future, but they maintain the hope that someday the seer will return. Bagras na Sittel, an ex-slave from the clan of Na Sittel. Borgas helped in the liberation of his brothers and sisters. Stood by the leader of the rebellion as they slew their masters and threw the surviving ones into the fighting pits. Okay. I don't know if I'm choosing anything, if we're just clicking A, so let me just click. Okay.
The dwarves of Catacomb are strangely optimistic. As much as they rarely show fear, they rarely show fatalism as well. They see life as a series of battles, but unlike the orcs, it's not status they seek. Of all the races, the dwarves have weathered the unrest the best, seeing it as the ultimate challenge. They have welcomed refugees and traders from all kingdoms, promising safety and shelter to those who wish to reside in their halls. The dwarves have not been untouched by recent troubles, but they have suffered less than other races. When Alaloth came to the mortal realms, his arrival shattered some of the underground Dwarven kingdoms, bordering the Valley of Storms, and it said some of his essence bled into the stone there. If mined and retrieved, it could be used as a powerful weapon against the fallen god, but it's had other unintended consequences for the region.
You can oh, I guess I don't have time to read that. Okay, so depending on which race you choose, I'm assuming that it starts you off in an area that represents that race. So it looks like we're underground already. Thodrum, look who decided to show up for practice. I guess that soft bed and all those warm meals are taking their toll on you. Fear you'll lose your touch. Good morning to you too. I think this is going to be a tutorial. Shall we begin? Exercise those muscles. Go over the basics so the next time you face an opponent, you won't forget your training. Let's do it. Gives you the option to skip the tutorial too. Might have to mess with the volume a little bit. Sorry if the music's a little loud right now. Okay, press R to lock on the enemy. With multiple enemies, use R to switch your targets. Okay. Oh, it's... Oh, I haven't used the controller in a while. It's actually the right joystick. I was clicking the right trigger. Press X to perform a light attack. Now my X, I think, is different. Because X isn't doing anything right now. Okay, it must be square for me on the PlayStation controller. These light strikes can only do so much against tougher opponents. Go for a heavier strike. Just remember, they may be deadlier, but it'll leave you exposed and tired. Okay, movement feels pretty good. Each fight is unique. It's up to you to decide how to engage in the situation. As you look at your opponent, make sure to notice their poise as you attack. It only takes one vulnerability to bring an enemy down. There's nothing more reinvigorating than seeing your enemy stumble. Attack enemies with depleted poise to deal increased damage. When you break the enemy, recover stamina. Okay. The harder you hit, the more they will stumble. Now it's not all about the action. It's also about reaching your opponent or running away. How about you give me some laps, stretch out your legs. Hold L in the direction you want to run. Okay. Good. Remember, fighting's not only about the attack, it's about the defense. A quick dodge makes all the difference between life and death. The animations are pretty good. I like the old school look with the modern day animations. Dodging is all well and good, but that's not always an option for too long. You know where I'm going with this. Raise your arms and prepare to shield yourself from my attacks. Okay, you guys can see the animations. Just a slight animation with the dual swords. Ooh, I like the sound effect. Nice. Oh, there is a parry. I just decided to give it a try, and it worked. Don't expect to hide behind that stance forever. The enemy will wear you down eventually. That's why you need to fight that perfect moment, or find that perfect moment where you can strike back. Damn. There we go. Trust in your instincts, but be careful. Enemies won't hold back. If you fail, your timing. Strike me now so you can feel your attack slip away as I block it. Remember, when you lose your footing, it's better to dodge away to regain it than standing in place. Your arms are not the only weapon in your arsenal. I know it's often forgotten, but your legs have power of their own. Okay, we can kick. Nice. Okay, it's a good start so far. Those knives you have, while unlikely, cause any damage to an armored opponent. Well, those knives you have, while unlikely to cause any damage to an armored opponent, will get their attention, maybe even separate them from their group, okay? Kind of can pull enemies by throwing knives. A good warrior knows how to take a beating when they need to. Put your arms aside and let yourself be hit, then strike fast against your opponent. Excuse me, I can't hear my own voice that well, so I find that course of action to be rejuvenating. Oh, it's kind of like Bloodborne a little bit. Don't forget those flasks on you. In case the enemy knocks the wind out of you, I trust that you know what you're doing, but in the heat of battle, we tend to lose sight of our own health. That's as much as we can do today. I fear that you'll see combat sooner rather than later, but at least you won't be forgetting the basics. Thank you. Stone bless you. I hope the morning treats you well. A raven flew once more from Kundin Hone, bearing the mark of the Magnate. I was hoping to let you rest, but duty has come, and you must answer. What did the letter say? That the Magnate requests your presence at the Hall of our Ancestors. With no delay, that's all it said. I suspect it concerns the recent rumors of warriors being recruited across the land. Perhaps he's looking for a champion? So it is time for Alaloth to die. I hope so. We all do. The Magnate must have incredible faith in you. I know I do. Your training has paid off and your reputation precedes you. Enhone will watch over you as you bring peace to our lands once more, but I want the evil alignment. Be interesting to see what they did with good and evil. Many thanks. I must get going. The Magnate awaits. It's a beautiful game. Magnate Kareg Karak. The Expanse called for a champion, and from the stone you sprouted, molded, made whole. Now it's time to give back to the land that shaped you to be the warrior you are today. The pestilence that has taken so much from us still breathes, and I aim to end the misery he afflicted with us. Alaloth took our families, our halls, our home, and gave it to his corrupted monstrosities. Even from his cage in the Fifth Kingdom, he laughs at our pitiful attempts to cross the Valley of Storms, and with each passing moment, he spits on our graves. The Ugrirs believe that he will soon be free to set upon us like the beast that he is, and they say that you're the one to stop him. It's a heavy burden, but one that must be carried. I will make our mountain whole again. Bold words, but boldness is just what we need in these trying times. Even with Enhome guiding your hammer, it might not be enough to kill a god. The Valley of Storms protects him from intruders. Until now, we couldn't breach it. But the Igura, I don't know what that word is, now know the way. Vaismil, the Light, broke her essence in the 4 artifacts as she fell and scattered them across the 4 kingdoms, one in each. Only the true power of these artifacts can smash through the Valley of Storms, but we simply don't know where they are. Knowing the brigands and abominations that plague our Plamen, we can be sure that you'll find these artifacts in the most troubling places. Beware, champion, for others are called to serve their kingdoms, and only one of you will have your chance to claim the 5th kingdom and kill Alaloth. Okay, so that seems like it's the main quest. Gotta find these artifacts, but since I'm playing competitive mode, I'm competing against other champions. The spirits of our ancestors watch your path, and they bless it. Do not disappoint us, for our destiny lies in your hands. May Enhome guide my hand. Deep into the mountain, all will find the great halls of the dwarves. Marvelous craftsmanship, with every arch and forge, stands proudly for generations past. Clan Carrick, the house of the first dwarven architects, who laid stone and hammer to craft and build, continues the traditions of the precursor race, which once roamed these caverns and always seeks their hidden knowledge. Movement and camera zoom. Use L to move. Okay, and that's how you sprint. You can also zoom in and out with the camera. That's nice. Cities are the main hubs where you can trade, talk to people, visit rulers, get quests from characters, from the bounties board, or rest in the tavern. Visit cities regularly to recover after a fight. Stock up on your food, recipes, and potions, upgrade and repair your equipment, craft new gear or sell anything you don't need, and get useful information from citizens to prepare for the next battle. In the capital city of any kingdom, you can visit the throne room and talk with the ruler of the realm, and find enchanters who can enhance weapons, armors, and shields through magic gems. Explore every spot. It could be worth it. Okay, we finally have control of our character again. And there's the zoom in. I'm going to pause right here and save, and check my volume settings, and then I shall return. Alright, so I turned down the volume a little bit. I apologize, it was a little loud in the beginning. You can see I'm making use of the zoom in and out feature right now. Works pretty good. Let's go check out the city. I don't believe you can rotate the camera in this game. You can only zoom in and out. Brigands and corrupted creatures of all kinds create problems everywhere, and it's not a rare bounty hangs over their heads. Requests for mercenaries are posted on these bulletin boards and can easily help you bring in some money. Okay, Frostfang Tribe's army. A diligent craftsman named Galnir hunts for support to unshackle the treacherous slopes of the Dragon Bed from a fearful Frostfang tribe. Scourge. As our ancestors, we must face the dangers head-on. A grateful thief named Melder asks for a good Samaritan to unshackle the ground mountainside of the mighty falls from a horrid mountain ratkin's invasion. An anxious farmer named Kerrig hunts up a friend of the stone to save the corrupted shores of Alaloth's glass from a fearful skeleton infestation. Alright, I picked up all of the bounties. This is a map overview right here. Doesn't look like you can interact with the regular citizens. Let's go check out what's up here. Trying to find my quest log. I don't know what to press to get to it. Let me check the settings. Pause. Heavy attack. I don't... Oh, character menu. Okay. There we go. Equipment and inventory. The inventory menu is where your equipment, consumables, items, and quest items, and cooking recipes in the cookbook are cataloged. Alright, so we have equipment. And right now I have dual daggers. Family armor. 55 armor, 20 magical protection. We have repair 5 out of 5 or durability. Evasion stamina, bleed resistance. Okay. There's also a mount section up here. But we don't have a mount. We have our potions. And then our cookbook. Grilled cheese, steak recipe, fish steak, and fried eggs. To craft this item, you'll need 1 egg and 1 food dressing. You'll obtain fried eggs, which is plus 12 maximum stamina. Alright, so here's the quests that we just picked up, the bounties. And then we have an event log. Champion status. Cool. These are the 4 different kingdoms on the map. And then we also have the codex. and the tutorial. Gotta keep remembering to sprint around. Alright, so there's the throne room. I say we just go right out into the world and start doing some bounties, I guess. Let's see, did I miss anything? We came in over there. We'll look at a couple of these shops down here. I missed the whole lower section of the city. Quest givers. During your journey, you'll meet people of all races looking for help. These are quest givers who will ask you to do something for them in exchange for a reward. Some of them want you to bring them an item or someone's head. They are special quests that must be completed within a time limit or will only be available if a specific event is triggered. Excuse me, kind stranger. I heard there's a famed warrior in town. I assume it has to be you. I was hoping that you can spare some time off your busy schedule to help an old man with a promise he made 300 years ago. What do you need? I must take the trek up here every year to sell the last of our craft to the good people of Cundin Hone, and so I must stay here for the rest of the month, away from my precious Rindula. In time a tradition began, one that I never broke ever since we wed. On the way up here there was always a grove full of verdant blossoms waiting for me at the side of the tunnel. Every year I would pluck a few and put them in a vase. When I got back home to Rindula, I would give her the flowers and see them liven up our house. This year there were no verdant blossoms to greet me, none at all. They've been retreating from our lands for many years. But I hoped that I wouldn't lose them in my lifetime. If you can get a hold of some on your travels, please give them to me. Alright, we'll do it. Could've just said that in the beginning, man. Other champions. As you travel around the cities, you may encounter other champions. Okay. The clan of Karak welcomes you, champion. I hope the old stones will treat you well. I am Karkam, brother of our most esteemed magnate, protector of Karak-Hone. I have to admit that I do hope that you will fail, so that I would have a shot at the big guy myself. I admire your convictions in taking this dangerous task despite the odds set against you. Every warrior must face the inevitable one day and prove themselves in the battlefield. Be safe, champion, and make your ancestors proud. Be one with the stone. Okay, we have the blacksmith right here. The finest tools, weapons, and armor, courtesy of Clan Karak. What do you have? Blacksmiths are skilled in metal manipulation. If you need to purchase materials or buy, repair, sell, and craft new gears, you should definitely talk to them. Okay, so I have 2,000 gold right now. My weight is 5 out of 80. But we don't really have much to sell. So we'll come back to this guy. This might be the alchemist. Many would lie to you and tell you they have some impressive stock that you can't refuse. I won't do that. I have stuff. Look if you want, go if you don't. There's the general vendor. Healing potion, we'll buy one right now to see what happens. Okay. Greetings to you, ground traveler. I hope that topside didn't mess up too much with your head. I know it did when I was up there. Okay, this is our food vendor. A worthy warrior never wields a weapon that was not enchanted by the best of the best. Enchanters can be found in every capital city of Clammin. They sell magical gems that empower your gear, and they are the only ones who can fuse them with weapons, shields, and armors, or remove them from an item of yours. Gems grant various kinds of perks. There are 2 types of gems that you can buy, rounded and squared. Round gems can be socketed in weapons to improve the attack. Square gems can be socketed in shields and armors to improve the defense. lore characters. Talk to lore characters to reveal new insights about the world of Plamen. Gather knowledge for your upcoming fights. We are watching you, champion. You might not know it, but we are. We must protect the Magnate at all times, even if it means putting you down. No one is ever not a threat to the Expanse, and the Ironbeards will stand strong against our enemies. Why are you telling me this? The Ironbeards want to make sure that you don't make the mistake that we aren't vigilant. We might not get the reputation of the Watchwardens, but we are fearless as much as they are. We cannot afford to not be. I saw firsthand what hubris does to our people. If we trust that things will go well, then they'll certainly go wrong. The House of Scales is proof of that. Alright, let's head on out. I'm assuming that we just go to the world map. The game is running pretty good so far. It seems like there's a couple little times when if you guys are noticing him sprinting right now, it's like he pauses for a split second. I'm not sure if it's a frame drop or what, but overall it doesn't feel too bad yet. The lands of Plamen are divided into 4 kingdoms, at the center of which is the 5th kingdom, now occupied by Alaloth. Each kingdom has its own culture and history, with many roads that connect the cities together, locations to explore, and areas infested with brigands and fiends. Alaloth's corruption haunts and sweeps across the lands of Plamen. To access the 5th kingdom, where Alaloth is imprisoned, it's necessary to find the 4 Vaesmeal's shards scattered across Plamen. The shards are hidden in the loot protected by monsters and brigands in the fighting areas. Claim the fighting areas before other champions do, and find the sacred shards to face Alaloth and end the evil that poisons the world. So that's our main quest. Okay, so we have a day and night cycle. On the roads in between cities, there will be many travelers of all 4 races moving about in the world. Some are merchants, and some are messengers. And then we have our champions, represented by these figurines. Okay. Cool. It's like time passes quicker when you actually move on the map. When you slow down, everything slows down. So I wonder what happens if we cross paths with this guy. Oh, I can hit A on him. Tursek. The stone was the only thing in our lives. The only sure thing in our lives, and even that it's now corrupted by Alaloth. I know you and I want to help. Not for free, but I'm sure I have something that you need. What do you have? Okay, that's pretty cool. Wonder if I can access my, oh, we have the fighting areas too. Where are the fighting areas? Aha. Okay. So this is a fighting area right here, the tomb. Frostfangs, I'm impressed. A warrior who knows their way in the frost. But just because you found us doesn't mean you can beat us. This is our home as much as it is the weaklings in Karakone. Uh-oh, this might be like an encounter here. We don't take kindly to strangers. We don't deal with it very pleasantly. You've just made the worst mistake of your life, champion. Okay, here we go. See how my first real combat encounter goes. Oh shit. At the end of a fighting area, there's always a prize. Clear the zone from the enemies to access the loot chest and gain your reward. Once open the loot screen, you'll be able to choose what you want to add to your inventory. You can also drop gear that you already own to free up space. Quest items don't have any weight limit. Okay. See if I can access. I can. Let's take a look at our quests again. Okay, so that's our main quest, the Light of Vaismil. Okay, you can track one quest at a time, it looks like. Winter Blossom. Okay, so that's that other quest that we just picked up. Alright, so I'm gonna head out to go kill some mountain ratkins. It looks like you can go anywhere that you want on the map. In any direction you want. Somebody's actually chasing me right now. Let's see what that is. Oh. This is for my quest. Mountain ratkins. You thinks you can sneak on Ratskin? You think us you so smart, but we'll show you true smarts when we tear you apart. You made the worst mistake of your life, mortal. We'll use your bones as weapons against your brethren. Okay, so I guess the objective of this quest is just to kill all of these creatures in this area. I think it's going to be a bunch of random, or a bunch of the same encounter, I think. Over and over. I hope that there's some areas that we can, like, straight up explore. There must be. Okay, quest complete. See what our next quest is. Oh, these are bounties. These aren't the actual main quest. Kill Frostfang tribes. On the slopes of the Dragon Bed. Okay. I think these, the enemies that are marked with the yellow arrows above their heads are for my active quest, I believe. Oh, wow. I'm impressed. A warrior who knows their way in the frost, but just because you found us doesn't mean you can beat us. This is our home. Okay, after this bounty quest, I'll try to find like an explorable area or something. Because if the whole game is just these little encounters... Oh shit, I'm about to die. Out of stamina. Nice. A little bit of an upgrade here. Okay, quest complete. Let me just see if I can go to, let me just go to this place right here. And see what this is. Okay, this is a fighting area. All the locations with banners beside them are fighting areas. Okay, let's see if we can claim this. Deep within unknown stone, where neither dwarf nor man has stepped in for generations, the lost halls of Gulker Mar remain silent. The sound of the hammers still echo through the walls, while no blessing from En-Home can be found in the House of Despair. An entire world lies dead, the consequence of dragonfire, and none could bring it back from the bleakness that stayed behind. Only corruption now lives within its halls, awaiting its chance for chaos to please its master above and drag us all to hell, to the hell from whence it came. The safe zones are the antechambers of battle. Here you can prepare for combat by choosing the right equipment and cooking a meal. Better not enter now. Maybe I'm just too low level, perhaps? Plus 75% max health. Okay, we'll put that in our pocket. Okay, let's go to this place right here. Ooh, there's a forest over there. The Lady of the Sky. It's a high stone formation shaped by the winds in the form of a woman with an eagle head. You can wait for day or enter at night. Blessed by Bingle, the Lady of the Sky, carved into the stone by strong winds and shaped into the form of a woman with an eagle head. Okay, here we go. Looks like we got a little bit of an area to actually explore as opposed to those little combat encounters. Companions. Spread around the world, you can find some formidable warriors ready to join you in the quest to defeat Alaloth. You can hire up to 4 companions, but only if they are of your same alignment. Okay. You can then venture forth into fighting areas with a maximum of 2 companions. All these companions will have their own special quest, with an intriguing backstory. Local co-op. Once you've recruited a companion, local co-op mode will be unlocked. Next time you'll enter a fighting area, a companion selection screen will open. You can venture forth with up to 2 companions. Odin. Little Lordling comes to gawk at the monster, but what will they want? A battle they cannot win or a hand in battle against a greater foe? I come to seek allies against Alaloth. as little lordlings should if they hope to bring down the mighty devil. They have chosen well, for we are relentless beasts of meticulous violence. We are Odin, the last of our people. Proud and strong warriors we were, living in unspeakable frozen lands of beauty and pain. But when Alaloth and his tempest sat upon us, we shuddered and sank into a lake of ice, and no human came to our aid. We alone took up the mantle of justice and laid waste to Winterleaf in the red solstice. We shall join you. Welcome, Odin. Companion hired. Okay, so next time we go to a fighting area, we'll be able to select Odin as part of our journey. Once the capstone protected the valuables and the weapons needed to repel an invasion by the other kingdoms. Now it is buried, enclosed by stone and snows that fell with the avalanche that covered the mountain after the tempest. Okay, here's Odin. We hunger for the blood of Edhurst. We starve for vengeance. Let us be done with the red demon quickly, so that we can return to slaughtering our enemies. Why do you hate Edhurst so much, Odin? You shall not talk of things that don't concern you. You should think of your collapsing caves. We shall be silent now. That must be the start of his companion quest. Talk to a guard in Whitewind. Odin, your silent companion, doesn't say much about his past, but rumors of the Red Solstice got you interested. Find out all you can about the events that transpired and why the Bardolphs refused to help the northern barbarians. Okay, I guess I'm going to attempt this fighting area with just one companion here. And let's see what happens. Here we go. Oh, did I not select Odin? I'm not quite sure what I did. Oh wow, yeah, this is going to be pretty tough. Yeah, you can't access your inventory, I guess, unless you're at the safe zone, perhaps. Gotta learn how to block a little bit better. Oh, you can't leave a fighting area once you're in it. Okay, well, wish me luck. Must be a way through. Wonder what happens when you die. About to find out. Noob. Okay, Wolf Death Summary. You awaken in the nearest shrine. 3 days have passed. All equipped items have lost 1 durability. Let me see if there's a way I can show you guys the... Oh, here we go. I'll make sure to chapter mark everything in this video. So right here we have character. And then we have the different classes. In the stats tab, you can invest your stat points in these 4 stats: Strength, Dex, Constitution, and Luck. Each stat has its benefit, helping you define what kind of champion your character will be. You can earn up to 10 stat points by claiming an FA, a fighting area. You can earn additional 10 stat points by finding and reading special lost books scattered about. An Orb of Chaos will allow you to obtain all of your stat, trait, and skill points back. So that's like a respec. I have 0 stat points at the moment. Traits. The first time you complete a fighting area, and from there on, each time you complete 2 fighting areas, you'll level up and gain a trait point, usable to gain a trait. Traits grant you special passive bonuses: Personality, Physical, and Survival. Use L to switch between them and show trait details in the info box. Personality. Way of Arms, skilled cooldown decreased by 20%. You've dedicated your life to studying the ways of combat. You devoted yourself to your weapon, making it an extra limb for you. Ways of Power and Skills. The first time you complete a fighting area, and from there on, each time you complete 2 fighting areas, you'll level up and gain a skill point. Skills are divided into 3 ways of power. The Way of Arms, focused on combat skills. The Way of Nature, centered around elemental magic skills. And the Way of Gods, with skills bound to the godly magic. Warlord, Marksman, and Guardian. Arcanist, Elementalist, and Warden. In the Way of Gods, it's Cleric, Necromancer, and Templar. Interesting. Yeah, the map is pretty big. We'll push on with Odin's quest here. Talk to a guard in White Wind. I wonder if there's like a level associated with each fighting area. Regions. Cities. Okay, you can turn on and off all this stuff. Map log. Wolfheart has died in Capstone. Enter free mode. Let's check that out. Oh, okay. Trying to turn off that map log right now. There we go. Okay, so this is nice. I didn't realize that you can actually look around the map without moving your character. I was wondering about that. Aha, there we go. Well, it does seem like there's a lot to do. Goldport is the capital city of Edhurst. Winterleaf is a major city of Edhurst, due to it being in the northernmost section of the kingdom. Okay, and our quest is right here. Let's see if I can mark it. Where's my character at? A little confusing to look at this map when you're not familiar with it. Where the hell is my character? Okay, so we have to go here. Alright, so... Oh wow, look at this in the middle right here. Alaloth, oh that's the, that's where Alaloth is. I got a long way to go and a lot of enemies to avoid here. Or not avoid. Aha, there we go. Add to party. There we go. Nice, Odin. Beautiful. Let me see if I can stop here at the Waterfalls of Wishing. North of the elven city of Near Lathias, the Waterfalls of Wishing excite those that are fortunate to see it. The bizarre saturated colors of the waters and the plants come from, as legends say, the magic of fairy creatures. I guess I can't talk to that guy. Or that guy. There's Capstone again. We can use altars to offer an orb of chaos. Okay, so we don't need that right now. So I'm kind of wasting a lot of time just exploring things, but I'm not too worried about it because I'll likely start another character. Let's check out this fighting area. The brightness of white snow gleams in the midday sun, while the darkness of night blinds any who venture in. Those that lived in the Silvermoor are long gone, and only corruption reigns to this day. The crimes of the Frostfang tribe are legendary, and the blood that's unspelt in this moor continues to plague the survivors of the massacre. Okay, so here's where we can access our inventory and equipment and everything. We don't have much equipment right now. Healing potion would be nice. Grab some eggs. Okay, the Silvermoor fighting area. We got Odin on our side this time. Nice. Oh shit, I think, oh my god, I think I just lost my companion. I don't even see where his HP is represented. Well, that's unfortunate, because that was making it a lot easier. Out of stamina right now, I gotta watch that. Oh shit. Gonna be cool to get some actual abilities, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that this session. Get some spells going and stuff. I had a feeling that was gonna happen, but oh shit! I had to test it out though. Okay. Note taken. Not all heroes wear capes. Oh wow! So now I'm back at the shrine. I wonder what happened to my companion. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to remember where you're at. Okay, so this is where I just died. Okay, Odin's back. That's nice. Try it again. Get in there, Odin. I'm gonna help him out a little bit more this time. There we go. Let's go, Odin. Keep forgetting I can lock on. I forgot about that. Uh-oh. That's not good. Okay, that felt pretty good. Yeah, locking on is going to make it a lot easier to dodge. Sweet. Okay, nice. That was also a bounty quest right there. You guys can see I have 4 abilities that I haven't unlocked yet. I mean, right now the combat's not horrible, but I'm excited to get some more attacks. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see what your enemy's doing. Let's go up this way. Better stay here. Aw, okay. There we go. Okay, I'm starting to get the hang of it. It's feeling better.
Well, looky here.
Damn, we need that. Whoa, there we go. That's a cool attack. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, wow. I'm gonna run for a minute, see what we can find. Oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Uh-oh, dead end. 'Cause I'm out of potions right now. Let's see what's at the end of this dungeon. Oh, maybe this isn't the end, because I'm gonna have to stop this recording very soon. I would have liked to have completed a fighting area for you guys and maybe leveled up a skill, but I'll do all of that on stream. I wonder what happens if I do this. Okay, I disabled it. Looks like the enemies might have respawned, or some of them did. Alright, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm a goner. I'm gonna go down fighting like a Dwarven champion. Here we go. Dang, these guys are hard to avoid. Okay, so we're at another Dwarven City. Try to go to a couple more places on the world map real fast. I'm assuming that you can get quests and do stuff here. Yes, you can see that there's the blacksmith, the potions guy. Try to show you guys a few things before I end this recording. First impressions, though, I mean, overall not bad. I'm a little bit confused as to, you know, how everything works, so it's kind of hard to say. It's a little early to, you know, give anything close to like a real review. I like the idea behind this game. It is only in early access right now. The fighting feels pretty good. It's not as smooth as I hoped, but it's not horrible. And when I get more skills, I would imagine it's going to be a lot of fun. I like the isometric view with the ARPG combat. A circle in the snow. The tower stands tall above it all, and no walls to protect this town but the forest and the frost. Home to House Clarimond, who despite the mountainous origin of their people, and whimsical folk hero as an ancestor, kneel willingly to their king, loyal to the end. Alright, so this is where I'm going for my companion quest. Champion, Vaesmill's light shines upon you, and the All-Father watches your every move. I hope you're ready for the challenges ahead. I am Tavern Clarimond, nephew to Lord Maximilian Clarimond, Sword of the North. How do you do? That does not matter. What matters is that you won't fail. The lives of millions hang in the balance, and you are chosen to save them all. Were I in your shoes, I would plan carefully for the fight ahead. Make sure there's no way that I would forsake my duty. Tim. Say, kind stranger, you ain't one of those champions we heard about by any chance, are you? What I wouldn't do for the slice of adventuring, but Ma always said, a Verhassel belongs in the forge, not out in the wild. What's the story of these gates and the eagleheads, Tim? Oh, those old things. Tell you the truth, I ain't got much of a clue. No one really does, you see. They say that each arch symbolizes one of the 9 kings that ruled this land before the Clarimonds came here. We have names for them. That one is Josh, at least I can call him that. But their names are lost to history, or so I was told. Someone built it for them, and there used to be a town there, but it burnt to the ground. That's when Clarimond came and built it all up again. Thank you. Unlocking codex entries. So let's go inside the Frozen Eagle. Ah, yeah. See, the more we play, the more it's opening up to these cool locations. I was a little worried at first. In all the cities of Plamen, you'll find a tavern where you can take a pause from your fight. In addition to talking to guests, you can taste the innkeeper's specialties. Rest from the fatigue of battle in a soft bed and deposit your equipment in the stash. You'll find a stash chest in every tavern room. Here you can store items from your inventory to lighten the weight of your load. By interacting with your bed in a tavern and paying a few coins, you can sleep and rest. Resting will take half a day, but will allow you to recover all of your health. Take some time to rest between battles, as you won't regain health at the end of a fight. You'll find a stash chest. Oh, I already read that. Okay. An injured barbarian arrived at the gates the other day. He was barely breathing. I got to spend his last moments with him while we tried to heal him, and the one thing he said, those poor people up in the plains. If only we could have done something sooner. What's happening there? The tempest hit them hard. The tribes are barely holding together, and they're at each other's throats. The creatures that spawn from it are tearing them apart, and the lack of arable land makes surviving impossible. I hope they make it through. It'll be a sad day if they don't. A lot of NPCs with just general lore and codex entries, but I like that. That's pretty cool. Are you sure that you want to spend 50 coins to rest? Let's just see what happens. I like the music a lot. And then we have our chest right here. New quest, the Book of Eris. Find the book for Aberth Hellbrand. Okay. Welcome to the Frozen Eagle. We take in loyalists only, so there'll be no talk of treason under this roof. What can I bring you? Show me what you have. Okay. This tavern's very nice. I'm happy that I came in here before I ended the video. Okay, Adam Erdlin. See if I can leave. Careful there, frost's setting in real quick and you don't want to slam your head against the ice, especially with all that equipment on. How can I help you? I was hoping to learn more about the Red Solstice, so this is our companion quest. A terrible affair that was some of the Lord's family was there and got killed by whatever the hell that was. Some bloody barbarian came down to Winterleaf and started slaughtering everybody he could find. No one that attended survived, so no one even knows what meat-headed murderer wanted. I was too young back then to remember too many specifics, but I'm sure someone in Winterleaf can tell you more about it. Though I warn you, they won't be a fan of that barbarian I saw you with before. Interesting. Okay. Talk to Lord Bardolph about the Red Solstice. Interesting. Alright, let's see what's up here. We have another quest board. And I believe that's it for the town. So I'm going to end the video right there. I wish I could play a little bit longer and complete a fighting area for this video, but I have some video work that I have to get to here in about 15 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. First impressions, I think it was a pretty good hour and a half experience so far, and I'm interested in continuing to play, so I will be streaming this game, so I guess that's a good first impression. There's a couple concerns that I have, mainly with the world maybe feeling a little empty in some of the dungeons, but it's hard to talk on this stuff when I haven't truly experienced it. So first impressions, pretty good. I do have some concerns, but I'm interested in playing some more and keeping up with the development of early access. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys around.